occupy, to fill up time or space, to dwell inside or reside in. See, this term occupy is as American as apple pie. It has been disguised in the battle cries of Semper Fi, hidden inside intel documents that are falsified to create reasons why. Then those reasons why are classified. But what they're unable to hide is the undeniable stench of lies. Politicians acting holy and sanctified when they're really corroded and stank inside. Campaigning about how they have the most virtuous principles, but what happens when their principles are morally reprehensible? I guess we should pitch tents and camp out. Begging billionaires for handouts with our hands out. Printing inflammatory flyers to hand out, demanding we demand the man out. Screaming their demands out until their voices echo through the castle walls of the man's house. People just pleading for what's fair and just a sliver of justice from those who are so unjust, while the unjust justification is a fabrication woven into the fabrics of this nation. Masons. People's entire lives have been preoccupied with the Occupy. Wall Street executives walking by get an awkward eye, giving them feeling of being ostracized, because our social security nest egg is no longer ostracized. As they walk inside their multi-million-dollar mansion, you can get lost inside. Standing in front of Wall Street, spewing raw speech, hearing them all preach about how we should all impeach the demagogues of the seat, screaming it ain't fair. How come we can't get our fair share when we paid the full fare to ride the college Ferris wheel for 4 some odd years, but all ain't well that ends well, especially when Wells Fargo refuses to forego on the high interest homes they foreclose. Contrary to the indoctrinated masses of asses, the entity called the Federal Reserve Bank is not owned by our government. It is privately owned by an elite group of fascists from the upper classes. This so-called Bank of America is ganking America, and the process in which they create money from thin air is tanking America. Job downsizing leads to civil uprising. Civil uprising leads to population downsizing, till there's no more surplus of goods and services to service us in this capitalistic society. The servants are us. Until the day we become conscious of the concept called working in concert. Until the day we can say, Mother, Father, you see King, a 3D flat screen. We are trapped behind the trappings of being trapped beings. Trapped behind prison bars of luxury cars and drinking in bars. Handcuffed to the high interest loans they hand us. Can't even hear our children's cry of, please play with me. Please play with me over the Blu-ray, HD, PSP, Plasma, and where's mom and DAD when their child with ADD is doing homework in front of the damn TV? We are occupied. From Wall Street to the wailing Wall Streets, to ghetto blocks where dope fiends occupy our streets, picketing with picket signs that read, give me mines, or who got 2 for a dime, protesting about the infamous plight of the high crack price, staging sit-ins inside trap houses where police trap black spouses whose same grandparents used to scream, fight the power. Now dope fiends just fight for powder and little bags of rocks that occupy their nights for hours. See, this ain't that Huey P. Black power. This that you and me take back power. Then take that power back as ours, because what was once ours has now been devoured by the 1% cowards who cower in the face of the truth. And they plan to make video game plantations for our youth. See, as long as these niggas is playing Madden, they ain't got time to get mad and stand up to be men. Preoccupied with the Wii controller in hand, he can actually go outside and play, but in front of the TV stand. Lost in this digital world of TV land where cyber hoes get virus scans. Virtual reality vixens, we click in to stick our control sticks in. The clock is ticking, dope fiends is twitching. Locked in prison with no pot to piss in. This shit's so sickening. So I swear, I swear by the bullets that occupy my gun, polluted thoughts will never occupy our sons and our daughters. The way your pollution occupies our waters, the way your cancer occupies our mothers and fathers. We are no longer lambs being led to the slaughter. We are lions racing to become martyrs. And and inside these words is the voice of all people. But I am not Stephen Jobs. I am Stephen Biko. I am not Rockefeller. I am Nelson Mandela. I am Barack Obama. No, I'm his African grandfather, because through my sons, a better tomorrow will come.
What's up, world? It's your girl, Tamika Georgia Me Harper. And when I'm listening to podcasts, I want the real deal. So I listen to Spoken Soul Sessions with my man, Poetic Black.
What's up, everybody? This your girl, Ebony the Goddess. And when I'm in these poetic streets going from venue to venue, I'm tuning in to Spoken Soul Sessions with Poetic Black.
Spoken Soul Sessions.
You ready, my man?
With Poetic Black.
Ain't nothing holding me back but me, and who's holding you but you.
Check this out, man.
Spoken Soul Sessions.
Oh my God.
This is Spoken Soul Sessions with Poetic Black.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Bold stances and looted dances got us here.
You are listening to Spoken Soul Sessions with Poetic Black.
We'll start from scratch, exploring new possibilities. Welcome to another episode of Spoken Soul Sessions. I'm your host, Poetic Black, and I'm happy to be here. Spoken Soul family, what's good? I hope you're on your path today. I hope you're not allowing anyone or anything to impede your progress. I hope you're focused on the goal. Today is the day we shine, and I need us to get in tune. We got work to do, people. Let's get it. Spoken Soul family, what's good? I told you guys that season 5 of Spoken Soul Sessions was gonna be off the hook. I told you guys I was searching high and low to get the best of the best to come and share their artistry with us. Today is a treat. It's a treat. You guys know that the Composition Entertainment LLC put on a competition over on Clubhouse. And it was a 14-week competition, grueling competition, whereas only one person would be crowned the Grand Griot. And today's Spoken Soul family, I have the winner of the Grand Griot competition in the studio today. And this is going to be a treat because we're going to get into all of it. But first, let's give our brother the proper introduction that he deserves. I'm talking about none other than Brother Habeeb. The year was 2000, and a Muslim hip-hop group named Suni Tribe just won the Buffalo Music Awards. One of the emcees was Arleym Habeeb, aka the Black Moor, now Alkebulaun. After winning the Buffalo Music Awards, Arleym Habeeb slowly left the stage as a hip-hop artist and evolved into the poetry arena. After cultivating his skills as a poet and winning several poetry slams, Arleym started to realize he began only writing for the crowd and judges. At that point, he left the hip-hop and poetry scene completely, all while watching his brother Quadir Lateef shine and flourish in both venues. But as the state of consciousness worsened, and after years of hearing the call from Quadir Lateef to jump back into the battle to create conscious music to combat the constant flood of ignorance over the airwaves, indoctrinating our youth. Now, armed with emceeing and spoken word, Arleym Habeeb has now rejoined the battle of good versus evil through spoken word and hip-hop. Spoken Soul family, with no further ado, I want to welcome back to the studio the incomparable Brother Habeeb. Yo, what's good, bro? What's good? What's good, man?
I don't know what it is, man. When you read something, man, it just sounds so profound and your voice is amazing, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you, King. I appreciate you, man. Oh man, it feels so good to have you in the studio, man. This was a long time coming. I wanted to have a detailed interview. The last interview you came in, it was for the finalists, the final stage of the Grand Griot competition with you and our brother Geronimo Tat. But I wanted to get a chance to sit down with you, and this was one of the perks of winning the competition, was that you would get an interview on Spoken Soul Sessions, and we're about to do that right now, man. My brother, how you feeling, man? Are you good, man? Everything is good? The family is okay?
Man, listen, I'm feeling with two hands, man, so that's a blessing right there, you know?
That's right, that's right. But let's get into it, man. I gotta make comment, man. Like, the piece I played in the beginning of the show, if you guys heard in the beginning of the show, it was a piece called Occupy, written by our brother Habeeb right here. And when I first heard this track, it just blew me away. It really, really blew me away. I had it on repeat for about the first week. It was in my playlist. I'm listening to it every day, and every time I listen to it, I got something new out of it. This was a powerful, powerful piece, man. Real briefly, like, what inspired that piece, Occupy?
So there was the Occupy movement back in the day, man. And I was watching the news, watching these people occupying Wall Street. And I was listening to them protest. And it was kind of crazy, because this concept of them occupying and protesting the injustice of Wall Street, and the reality of how poverty occupies our community, family, all these supreme, huge effects of this corporate society. And I felt like the voices, other voices need to be heard within the Occupy concept.
Because I found that interesting, man, because I did a piece also called Occupy Freedom. And it was along the same lines.
Yes.
Along the same lines of what you was talking about, but I was going from a different perspective, because they was talking about Occupy Wall Street, but it was the same motivation. It was a lot of press, everybody talking about Occupy Wall Street combined together against the 1% that owns all the wealth and all of this. And it inspired me to write a piece. And along the same lines, though, man, I thought that was phenomenal, man. And the sentiment that I gathered from that particular piece, man, was just so heavy. It was so heavy, but so relevant. And that was recorded back in 2014 or 2015. Am I right?
Yeah, that was way back in the day, man.
Yes, man. And it's just so relevant today.
Yeah.
That poem is just so relevant today.
Right
And
now.
that's just a testament, man. You know, you got timeless art. This timeless art that no matter what time you play it or you listen to it, it can affect you. It can effect some type of change, man. And I just thought that was just masterful. It was a phenomenal piece, man. And I thought you should know that. Most definite.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, man, let's get into the nitty gritty. The first question, everybody knows, the first question that I ask all my guests is that why spoken word? Why poetry? I mean, it could have been anything else. Like you are, you know what I'm saying, you dabble in different genres of music, hip hop being one. You know, that's one of your wheelhouses. But why poetry? Why decide to use poetry as your vehicle to spread your message, to you know, let people know who you are? Why poetry?
Poetry is man, it's kind of like you hear the scripture where it says, in the beginning, you know, it was the word. And that's the reality, man. The level of being able to speak and allow your truth to be manifested through words. And not just the truth, but the energy that the words have. The ability for words to bring change. Even the concept of speaking to plants in positive ways allows the plants to grow better than speaking negative to a plant. So one of the things is that we have constant negative lyrics, music, news. It has to be some positive. It has to be some words that are affecting our children in a positive way, the community in a positive way. And poetry or spoken word, it gives you that freedom and that ability to just express it in any way imaginable without any constraints.
That's interesting, man, because exactly what poetry, you know, allows you to do. You know, when you rapping, you're really confined. You're confined to the beat. You're confined to the bars. How many bars? Everything is in a confine and it's marginalized. You know, but when you're spoken word, it doesn't possess those type of restraints. You know, stanzas don't follow the same format as bars. You know, you're not forcing yourself to rhyme. You're not forcing yourself to keep a beat. You know, you do have that freedom of expression. You know, it allows, because both of them are poetry. A rapper is a poet. You know, a poet is a poet. A spoken word artist is a poet. But, you know, depending on what's your wheelhouse, where you're at, it would determine whether you can really flourish in your expression and what you want to do. So it's like you gotta really like look at it and appreciate for what it is, man. And it's so much you can do with poetry, man. Yes. So much you can do with spoken word. And brother, you're doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything could be done with it.
Bro.
You're doing it, man.
I mean, I feel the same way about you, bro. It's like one of the first times I was on a Clubhouse in the poetry lanes, I heard you do a poem, bro, that was so, even now, bro, I feel emotional thinking about it, bro. It was like speaking about your father, and you just said, like, the song, you're like, give me the beat, boy. But the way you gradually creeped into my heart, it just was amazing, bro, because it just made me emotional, man. And having that ability is amazing, bro, and I salute you, man.
I appreciate you, King. I really do, man. I really appreciate you, man. But I wanted to ask you, man, you know, like, what's the motivation for your writing? You know, because like I interview a lot of different artists. You know, I've got a lot of interviews. You know, if you search through the catalog of Spoken Soul Sessions, like it's at least about 50, 60 interviews, different artists. And I interview these different artists, and I try to get the different perspective from these different artists, like what makes them tick. But what I notice about your work, your work is never superficial. It's always some underlying, message. It's always urging the people to be better versions of themselves. So when you write like that, like, I gotta ask, what's your motivation? Like, what's the motivation that really guides you to being able to write in that vein, to be so well in that vein, but to stay in that pocket, man, and continually inspire people with your words? So what's the motivation?
That's a beautiful question, man. And to be honest, it has changed over time. When I used to write, when I first started in hip hop, I was doing it, I wanted just to be dope. And then I got into spoken word, and I started doing it for 30s, trying to win slams. But then there's a verse in the Quran that says, it speaks about the poets. And it says something to the effect of like, and the poets, I'm paraphrasing, and the poets who basically they use their words to glorify themselves and to, lead the people away into like this place, like what you're saying, like a frivolous type concept, or self-glorification, self-praise. And then it says, except those who basically glorify God, who speak the truth, they use that poetry for a purpose of serving God. And that's ultimately what my goal is, to serve God through servicing these words to the people.
That's interesting, my brother. I mean, profound, powerful, because I know it has to be a stronger motivation, because this is dedication, and what you do is deliberate. Like you can tell a lot from a person's writing, or you can see the development, because we all write in stages, man. There was a time when I used to write to be, vain. You write to be, I want my words to be sick. I want you to be dazzled and awe in awe of my words. But as I grew, as I matured more as a writer, as a spoken word artist, I developed, the ability to write with purpose. And that's the thing that's missing. And I guess it's a journey. I guess, a poet will get there when they get there. Not to just push anybody's journey along, but just a testament of my personal journeys that, it's a process. You're going to get there. But when you get there, you will really see the difference you can make with your words.
And it's a necessary journey, because through that journey, you develop skills, techniques, that allow you to be able to finally come to this place where you're using your skills for a true purpose, that armed with those skills that you've brought and learned through the journey, where initially I was doing it to stun on people. I wanted to let me stun on these niggas. We get up here and say some, or let me say some erotic stuff, and I had these chicks feeling me. You know what I mean? But learning to take the words, to play with the words. Imagine if when Moses threw his staff down in front of Pharaoh, it wasn't a magnificent feat. It was just like some rinky-dink thing that happened. Like the stick just wiggled around. If it didn't turn into a giant, huge serpent to swallow up the falsehood of the other magicians, it wouldn't have been so prolific and profound. So that's the same way I look at myself. When I throw down the words, hopefully they will have that same effect that Musa had when he presented his staff, and it turned into a snake.
Wow, man, that's a great analogy, man. That's a great analogy, man. And you can tell when a person is writing with purpose, you know, the magnitude, you know, or the depth of their words. It would show. It would just shine through, you know. And I just think that's amazing, man, because some of these pieces, man, like there's a couple of pieces that I heard from you. The Hanging Tree, that's another one. The Hanging Tree, man, a profound piece of work, man. A profound piece of work. So many different elements that you can resonate with, you know. It's like, you know, you hear people's work, and when you see it consistently, heavy piece after heavy piece after heavy piece after heavy piece, it's like, whoa, you know, this person has evolved. You know, this person has you know they've reached, and this is beautiful artistry, man. So it's like, I don't know, man, you know, like certain people or certain poets, when I hear their words, it kind of like stick to the rib. Like certain individuals, you know, like when I'm listening to Talam Acey, when I'm listening to like Slangston Hughes, or I'm listening to like maybe Mahogany Brown or Jive Poetic, I'm listening to these artists, and they take me places. Another artist. Definitely poet.
You know Jive Poetic?
Yeah, I know Jive. You know Jive?
Jive Poetic. Jive, he's from Buffalo, man.
Oh, Jive is originally from Buffalo?
Jive Poetic.
Yeah, man. I know Jive. I tell you a crazy story, because he's the host, or he's actively hosting, if I'm not mistaken, the New Eurekan Poets Cafe.
I gotta go check him out.
Yeah, man. He's him and Mahogany Brown, both. They was they was both doing the
I remember her too.
Yeah,
she came to Buffalo, and they came to Buffalo a couple slams. In fact, I'm trying to think if I got them in a slam. I can't remember, but it's possible. It's possible.
Definitely, man. And like Jive, I met Jive because it was funny when I met him. I met him at the Nuyo. I was at the Nuyo. It was a Wednesday night performance. We was doing the it's the slam to qualify to see if you would get on the slam team. And it was like, okay, I'm in the line, and they say, oh, that's the host right there. I said, what's the host name? He said, Jive Poetic. So I was like, Jive Poetic? I said, I got Poetic in my name. And at that time, I've never heard anybody put Poetic in their name like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, Jive Poetic. I like that. You know what I'm saying? So when I got on the stage, it's like, yo, what's your name? I was like, Poetic Black, you know? So what happened was, I wound up winning that night. I wound up winning. You know, I did the slam, wound up winning to qualify for the next week. Next week, matter of fact, I got to go back. What happened was, I didn't win that slam. I came in second place. But the winner couldn't attend the next week. Slam. They couldn't attend the next week's slam. So I
second place.
Yeah, I got second place. I got in that slot, but I didn't know, because after the slam I had left. I left. You know what I'm saying? It was in Manhattan. I live in Brooklyn. So I go back to Brooklyn or whatever the case is. But let me show you how the universe works. It's crazy. So boom, I'm in Brooklyn. I don't have no idea. I went to the slam that previous Wednesday, and I lost or whatever the case. I came in second place. So boom, I drive and I go visit my aunt. I'm going to drive to go visit my aunt. So I go to my aunt. I'm parking up. I get out the car, and I see this dude run up on me. I was like, yo. He was like, yo, Poetic Black. So I was like, that's the dude that was hosting the He said, yo, man, I've been looking all over for you on social media, man. He's like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? You qualified because you were second place, and the person couldn't attend the next slam, whatever the case may be. You won in? I was like, yeah, I won in. So I went in and I got in and I made it always to the semifinals. You know what I'm saying? But me and Jive, we always stayed in touch, man, and it was always love, man, because he do so much for the poetry community, man. He's a real solid brother, man. I think I did a spotlight on him on Spoken Soul Sessions, but I think I want to get Jive Poetic. Definitely want to get him on the broadcast, man. That's crazy. That's funny. That's funny how that's crazy, bro. I didn't know you knew Jive.
You said Jive Poetic. I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to think if he lived there or he was going to school there. But he at the time he was living there, and he was coming to the slams, coming to the open mics every week, and we kicked it. We were good friends, man. And I know he started messing with Mahogany.
Yeah,
she was
man.
on HBO.
Yeah,
right?
Mahogany Brown. She's beautiful, man. Her spoken word, it takes me to the next level.
Yeah,
you know, she's just phenomenal. She's phenomenal, and it's crazy, man. It's a small world. See that? It's a small world. Cause I done some Mahogany slams too. Cause she hosts that Brick. They do the events at Brick. And she do a lot of hosting over there, man. Solid, man. Solid. That's crazy. I did not know you knew Jive, man. Or Mahogany, man.
I didn't know he was hosting the New Yorican, man. That's
man,
insane.
Jive is legendary, man. And he be DJing.
Insane.
Yeah, he be DJing, man. He be DJing.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, bro. Yo, Jive is legendary for the New Yo, man. Like when you think of New Yo, you think of Jive, B. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful thing,
I'm gonna
man.
reach out to him, man.
Yeah, that'll be beautiful, man. That'll be a dope look, man. Matter of fact, man, if we could run up on him, man, when you come to NY, man.
Let's do it.
You know, that'll be dope, man. That'll be dope. Oh, man, that's crazy. But yeah, man, let's get back into the interview. You know what I'm saying? We reminiscing. But yeah, that's good, though. That's great. Now, let me ask you. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna do that yet. What we're gonna do is this. We're gonna get to your first piece. We want to give the audience, you know, we want to get an audience a taste of who Brother Habeeb is. Who is this phenom? Who is this brother, man? And then we want to get into this Grand Griot competition. We got some questions about that. So let me set up the stage for you. All right. Are you ready right now, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right. Coming to the stage. Let's give a warm welcome, performing his first piece on the Spoken Soul Sessions stage, Brother Habeeb.
He said it was only a white lie. Huh. And of course, my reply was, you mean like a Susan Smith lie? How she drowned her own kids and blamed it on some black guy lie. He said, no, a white lie, something small. You mean like his wallet resembled a gun lie? Or how about some Ariel Sharon lies, how he was bulldozing abandoned home lies, creating hundreds of unmarked graves where thousands of bones lie. You see, I didn't understand because I overstand that white lies lead to chalk lines, and chalk lines means it's us dying. Half the time, niggas is getting the blame when it's not even us lying. Damn. This country was founded on white lies, how the Native Americans heard the pilgrims cry, and before they would watch their children die, they showed them how to plant crops like wheat and rye. The pilgrims, so surprised, they thanked them by giving them blankets infected with smallpox so they would die. Then they killed off the buffalo, which was their food supply, and watched their children die. The first words the Native Americans heard were, "We come in peace," which was the first white lie. Now they got all types of lies: sexual lies, social lies, demoralized, places where horror lies, and children run wild throughout their lives like the Lord of the Flies. Even the schools indoctrinate us with lies, teaching us all the what, who, where, and whys, and it's all lies. Now once fertile minds become implanted with lies, and a planet of lies where women get their breasts implanted with lies. All because of someone else's version of beauty and size. Now her beauty relies on lies. Beautiful black faces become vandalized with Maybelline lies and L'Oreal lies and CoverGirl lies to cover more lies. They even cover your eyes with black lies. Nappy hair to straight, so they apply lie. Or black eyes infected with styes from where blue contacts lies. They making us think lies. Got us rocking extinct animal mink lies. Telling us Napoleon didn't blow the nose off the Sphinx lies. Jury's decisions have been a revised revision of lies. Making the criminal the victimized and the innocent the despised. I'm talking about police brutalized. Beating black guys to damn near paralyzed. And it only takes 2 untruths to equal a pair of lies. All day, every day, all we do is stare at lies. Watching the days of our lives, while the days of our lives are manipulated with visual lies. Satellite and cable TV feeding me subliminal lies. Images of lies which through our actions become metamorphosized in places where prostitution lie and young black men are institutionalized. Niggas are running the church in hopes to hide, only to be confronted with Catholic priest lies. In the name of God, Catholic priests are found in the little Pete's thighs, using the crucifix to muffle the screams of little Pete's cries, then using the Bible to answer the questions of little Pete's whys. When are we gonna wake up and realize? Then they use their own tears to baptize them in their lies. When are we gonna wake up and realize? And please do not mistake this for some black guy talking about white guys, because even white guys get told lies. Ask Eric John about the cancer rate rise in the backyards of Hickory Woods where the toxic waste lies. Black or white, it's like we're all fighting for a slice of the American pie, not realizing the main ingredients are you and I. Mono and diglycerides of our lives. Riboflavin of souls enslaving. Dope fiends of whey and protein. Soybeans of your dreams while the crust is made by hand from the stolen Indians' land. Sauteed in lust and desire. All baked in the oven of the hellfire. When are we gonna wake up and realize? When are we gonna wake up and realize that it's all lies? Peace.
Oh my God. That's how you gonna set it off like that, man? One more time, one more bomb. Oh my goodness, brother. Man, B. Yo, man. Let's talk about this piece for a second.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. You took the lies, man. The lies. The parallels you used with the lies was just crazy, man. The alliteration, you know, like this was just crazy.
Man, I appreciate you, family.
Oh my goodness, man. Like oh man. It's not often that you come across this type of talent.
Praise God, man.
All praises due, man. All praises, man. Like this is like, man. It was it was only a white lie. Only a white lie. And then you brought that all the way up to the man. This was masterful.
Thank you, sir.
The social lies. The implanted lie. He says women go and then implant these lies.
Yeah.
Oh man, this joint was crazy, man. This is artistry in its purest form, man.
I appreciate you, family.
Now tell me, man. Like tell me, what was the overall motivation? I can guess, seeing what's going on in the world today, man. But what was the straw that broke the camel's back that prompted you to put paper to pen to go and pen something like this, man?
The concept of white lie being something that's small, and the white lies that humanity has seen have been, oh my God, destroyed, killed millions of people. White lies. And I think there was when this happened, when I wrote this, there was a woman who, this is like back before there was Karens. It was just white women blaming it on black guys. So the white lady says a black guy stole her car and killed all of her kids or something like that. Took her car and drove it in the water, but she did it. And that white lie was so hurtful, and it just made me just reflect on, man, how many white lies have affected black people or the world. And I just really just start just doing first a mental note to self, and then it just turned into the poem.
Wow, man. Emmett Till. You know, the lies. It's so many countless incidents. You know, I seen one meme that was just disgusting, where this woman was like, "Oh, he's attacking me," and this man didn't even make no gesture towards her. But they use their whiteness, or they use this, and they weaponize it. They weaponize their race. We talk about white privilege and things like that. This is what it entails. You know, you have the privilege of having the benefit of the doubt, and instead of you being discontent about the way things are, you benefit from it. You go and benefit to your whiteness. You know, like, because you ask people. Jane Elliott, a powerful sister, Jane Elliott said that she did like this social experiment where she asked the people in the crowd, said, "How many of you guys would trade places with someone black? Raise your hand. If you would like to trade places with somebody black?" And nobody raised their hand. And she said, by nobody raising your hand, what it lets me know is that there's a problem, and that you recognize the problem, but you're not doing anything to fix it. So when people weaponize their race, they weaponize it. You know, they get the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, white people, not going at white people, not shooting no shots at white people, but you do possess what we call white privilege, and that privilege kind of translates to the benefit of the doubt. When you get pulled over, you have the benefit of the doubt that you're a law-abiding citizen. The police, they give you that benefit of the doubt. You know, when any type of police interaction, you're given the benefit of the doubt. And what we talk about with being black in this country, a lot of times, you know, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. You get the doubt. You get the doubt of the benefit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I doubt he was doing something good. You know, that's what you get. You know what I'm saying? I doubt he was doing something. You know, that's a bar. Facts.
Bro, you got to do something with that. That's a bar.
You know, the doubt of the benefit, you know, and it's crazy, brother. But this poem was highlighting all of the things that we go through the day to day, and see how damaging it is. You know, how far a lie can go. Like that one woman that said, this one lady, I seen this TikTok. She was like, she's a caretaker, and this old lady that she was taking care of before she died, she would be crying and going hysterical. And she was like, he's right there. And she confessed to this woman that when she was young, there was a kid that lived next door, the black family that lived next door. And the daughters had pretty addresses. So she went and said that, you know, their brother did something to her.
Wow.
And he never did anything to her. And they killed him. Wow. And this boy was there haunting her. So he's right there. He was haunting her. And I was like, wow, man. A lie can go so far. Like the lady, she said that she admitted that she lied. In the Emmett Till case. You know?
Yes, I saw that on her deathbed.
Yeah, she and no kind of accountability. You know, and like what's the other one name? George Steiny. You know, the first black kid to be executed.
Yeah, the young boy.
Yes, they execute him. He was like 12 or 13 or something like that, and they executed him over lies. You know, so these lies have been weaponized, you know, since we've come into this country, or since we've been going through the nonsense that we've been going through the Reconstruction, through the segregation, through the redlining, through the constant oppression. You know, it's like people are fed up. We're fed up, man. This was a brilliant piece of work, my brother, man.
You,
oh man, this was powerful. But I want to get into the Grand Griot competition, a 14-week competition, 14 weeks. You know, nobody knew what was going on. No, I'm saying nobody could preemptively, prepare for this. This was something we put out there. We got people to audition. It was like about maybe 50, 60 people audition. 27 people were selected. Out of the 27 people, only 12 made it to the final 12. Amongst this final 12, it was a brother that nobody knew about. Nobody even heard of this guy, like on Clubhouse, you have poets over there that have a reputation. They spit dope work, from every day. They from room to room spitting fire, and they're known. They got 2,000-3,000 followers, and they're known. But this particular brother came out of nowhere, and he wasn't really acclimated in the poetry, the poetry rooms or the poetry houses on Clubhouse, and it came from an invitation. I happened to be in a room, with a mutual brother that we both know, and we're talking and everything, and the brother just so happened to say, "Yo, man, you still doing the poetry thing?" And this brother, he's seen me perform live before. He's come to my shows. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing poetry, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And this brother said, well, I do poetry too. So I was like, oh, really? I said, oh, really? You do poetry? I said, yo, look, I host a spoken word room. We do constructive criticism and critique. Come on over, man. We can do a little deep dive on your poetry or whatever the case may be. But he gave me a sample of what he could do, and I was blown away. So when he came to the show, other people was blown away. So it's just about timing. It's just about timing, because during this time we starting to do auditions, and you get selected for the audition. Like how did that make you feel when you found out that you were selected, that you was one of the poets selected of the 27? Because it was like 60 people who auditioned, but 27 were selected, and you was one of those 27. How did that make you feel?
Honestly, I was excited, but I was like, it was like, if it's like a swim meet, and you ain't been swimming in a while, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, well, maybe I could make it halfway through, and just, it really was more so for the fun of it type of stuff. It really wasn't like in my head, I thought I could pull it off. But I praise God, bro. It just turned out to be something special, man.
Oh man, and was it something special, man? Cause so you get selected. When you get selected, we still got to go through. We still got to go through the audition phase, or not the audition phase, the initial 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, where we're weeding out. We're trying to get the best of the best. So you had to come through for 2 weeks in a row. And do a poem, and you made it through. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, I believe that the first poem I heard you do for your audition in the first preliminary rounds was The Hanging Tree. I think that was one of the poems, was The Hanging Tree. And I was like, whoa, this was in the time of the competition where there was no prompts. You can just bring your own piece. So you had 2 weeks to just bring who you was as a poet to see if you got to that final 12. And you came, man. Now, during this time, there was a lot of beef going on. It was a lot of beef going on. You had some poets that they decided to, like, I'm going to go at all these poets. And they thought that was the mode or the path to victory, and it didn't pan out. Because it's about competitiveness, being competitive. So some of them took that approach to go at everybody and try to create controversy, and it didn't play out. But you, my brother, you stayed, your character stayed a certain consistent way throughout the entire competition. You did not become compromised by whether prompts or what someone else said. You just stayed focused, man, and you kept writing to the challenges. So 2 weeks go by, you make it to the final 12, and now this is when the competition starts. This is when everything gets busy, because now you're not writing for what you want to write. Now you got to write what we're telling you to write, about what we're telling you to write. This is when the challenge comes in. So making it to the final 12, and the first challenge being so bland, because that was done deliberately. We wanted to take the most stalest piece of video footage and give it to you guys to create something masterful. So how was that the first week? Tell us about that. What was that like? You was like, am I gonna last through this whole 12 weeks? What's gonna happen, man? Because this is some dry footage. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was kind of bland, but inside of it, I could see the like a correlation between that and life. I was able to tap into that, and I just, once I tapped into this connection, because the gentleman in the video was like he was waking up, the alarm clock would go off, he would wake up, look at his phone, go brush his teeth, shave, get some coffee, get dressed, walk out the door, grab some candy out of this jar. It's filled all the way up. And then the same thing would happen the next day, but the jar would keep getting lower, 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 lower. And I understood that, how life is, and then at the end, there's no more candy left in the jar. And I just, once you can see the angle, how can I relate to this? Then I was able to jump on it, man, and I felt good about it. It just turned it from bland to something that was exciting to me.
Phenomenal, man. And I think this was the week right here that this was the challenge that I thought that would break some people, because when you get outside your comfort zone, the pressure start to hit. Anybody can do their thing in their wheelhouse. What I'm saying? You put me in the kitchen and you tell me yo, make some pastries or make some, do your culinary thing. I'm good. But if I'm cooking some cuisine that I don't know too much about, maybe Asian cuisine or Japanese cuisine, where
cook a piranha.
Yeah, what I'm saying? I gotta prepare blowfish. Now
the poisonous one.
The poisonous, I gotta prepare this blowfish, and if I don't prepare it right, everybody gonna die. Now I'm not comfortable with this type of situation. So this was the challenge that I was I want to see what these guys do. Can they bring it to life? And certain of you guys really stood out on this challenge, and you was being one of them. The concept of the element using the candy, as an expendable resource, something that a crutch that's leaned on, and bringing other things outside of the video into the poetry, expanding on what was shown, the visual that was shown, to expand on it a little bit more. So, the individuals who really shined, I was these are the poets that's really ready for this, because this was just the tip of the iceberg. It got way crazier than that. I mean, for me, and I want you to tell us about this a little bit. For me, the most impactful, I gotta really sit down and think about it, because you had a few weeks that was just impactful, but the week where you had to write the challenge of the historical tyrant.
Wow.
And you picked Leopold.
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. On so many different levels. One level is the fact that in this society, Leopold is not even mentioned when we talk about, the most evilest people who has ever lived. Like, Hitler is number one.
Yep.
Hitler is number one. You don't hear Leopold's name.
2 million Jews?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Leopold
They
killed 20?
say,
20 million.
Exactly, 20 million. And they talk about 6 million. 6 million 6 million Jews. Like the Holocaust was a horrific, occurrence. Not trying to compare and contrast. But when we talk about the Holocaust compared to what Leopold did,
nothing.
It's like a drop in a bucket. It's like a drop in a bucket. And it's funny to me how they give Hitler this title of being the most evilest person because he killed white people.
Wow.
He killed white people. He didn't kill, he didn't kill black people. Leopold, he killed 20 million. 20 million.
I can't even comprehend it, bro.
It's like, what? Chopping off limbs, off their limbs, and
children,
Families,
bro. The way that Leopold did it was so, like, it was almost like the devil was on earth at that time. And if the devil was training you and teaching you how to extinguish a group of people, and he followed the devil's playbook to the T.
To the T, the exact blueprint. And I just thought that was phenomenal that you brought that to light. And the characterization that you prepared with that piece was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the voiceover that you did, you stayed in character, you committed to the entire thing. You was very facetious and sarcastic, because the challenge was that you had to write from a perspective of honoring them or praising them. But you managed to do that in totally, just breaking them down to the finite level, to like really outline what he did and the atrocity, how big of an atrocity it was. Yes. So that was like one of the most impactful weeks for me, when you did that performance. And I was blown away. That was just phenomenal, brother. That was phenomenal, man.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I did not want to do him because it was so painful to watch the videos. Like I watched a bunch of documentaries on different tyrants, and his was the worst. It was terrible. I couldn't even imagine trying to do it with him. And I went to so many different other people. There were some African leaders, and I was like, this is nothing. And like, once I had Leopold in my head, everything else was nothing. I would go to a different one, and they'd be like, oh, he did this. And I'd be like, that's nothing. He didn't do anything. Then another one, they'd be like, he didn't do anything. And then this one was in power for like a year, 2 years, and he, killed hundreds of people. Well, Leopold killed millions. So nobody could even reach the bar of evilness as Leopold. So when I kept saying I'm not gonna do him, it just got closer and closer and closer to the deadline, and I was like forced to choose him because no one else, like, to say, let's say you take one of these African leaders and you be like, oh, he embezzled money for his, and he, it's nothing. That don't mean nothing compared to this dude who killed 10, 20 million Africans, cutting off their hands, forcing children to work and labor, not feeding them, raping them, all this stuff, bro. I was like, I just was haunted by everything that he did. So finally, once it just got close to the deadline, I went back to him and said, I have to just present all the evil that he's done. But I was like wanting to do it in a way to where it fit within the confines of the competition, how the rules you gave.
Yeah, man, you absolutely killed that challenge, man.
I appreciate
and
you, bro.
that was an eye opener for me, to take that challenge and create to that magnitude, to produce a piece like that. And that week, man, you got the best piece that week, but you got all 10s. But it was some heavy hitters that week as well. Yeah, so to outshine in that week was a big thing, because so many of the different poets did their thing. But you definitely shined in that, man. So this competition, man, I know it had to be, at some point in time, man, it had to be consuming, man. It had to be consuming. That's why we try to put in the little incentives to give out, because I know it was like time consuming. It was a lot more off the app than on the app. Like we was on the app for a little bit, but the amount of time that it consumed off the app, man. Tell us about that. Like, how did it affect your daily life outside of Clubhouse?
Yeah, so basically I have my own business, so I was able to do a lot of research and study while I'm working, listening to documentaries, you give us a topic, I would research it, and then while I'm working, I might stop, take notes, put something in a mental Rolodex, and then when I get home, I would commit to probably about an hour to 2 hours a day of trying to maybe write a little, putting stuff together. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to write, and then I would just put it off until the next day. But for the most part, man, honestly, a big part of it, I'll be talking to God. You know what, God, let me, if it's good, if I could use this as a tool to win and spread the truth about what's going on in the world and society, and to glorify your name, then let me win. But if it's not good for me, then don't let me win. But he will give me signs that he's with me, like with the Leopold thing. I thought I was gonna lose, because it was halfway through the week, almost maybe 4 days left, and I was I don't got nothing. I really didn't have nothing until maybe 2 or 3 days to that point. And I had prayed on it, yeah, God, if this is it, then, and it is what it is. But if it's not, then, inspire me and give me something to do. And then that's when he made it I had to do Leopold. And then the way to do it, and then the time to do the accent, the African accent.
Yeah, that was dope.
So it was kind of I knew that if God wanted me to win, he was going to keep inspiring me and giving me, the ability to present it. But there was 2 times I thought I was going to lose. One with Leopold, and one with the female perspective.
That was the challenge. You had one of the challenges for the audience that didn't know. One of the challenges was you had to write from the perspective of a female, and it had to be an erotic piece, not so more so erotic, but sensual, in erotic nature. You had to evoke erotic feelings, but you had to write from a female perspective.
Right.
And that was the challenge. So for the females that was in the competition, they had to write from a male's perspective, and the males had to write from a female's perspective. Right. So that was the little twist. But you made it through unscathed.
Yeah, praise God, man.
That was dope. You know what I mean? But that was another attempt that particular challenge, because people didn't know we wasn't making these up. We wasn't making these challenges up as we went along. All of them was pre-done. They were pre-recorded. All of the prompts was pre-recorded in the challenge form that we did, you know, and they were all deliberate because we wanted to take people outside of their comfort zone and see what they can do. Would they be able to prevail, you know, what when they're writing about things other people want them to write about? Like me personally, like I had to taste this back in 2016. 2016, I had the honor of being accepted into this slam that happened in New York called the Night of Champions. Now this slam was a big deal because in order to even be a contestant in this slam, you had to pre-qualify and win a previous slam from under the same promoter. So he took all the champions from all of his events and he put them together for one night to do the Night of Champions, to see who would reign supreme, you know. And he told us to write. He told us to write from a particular topic. He gave us a particular topic to write from. He gave us the 1920s. So we had to write about that era, the 1920s. You know, the roaring 20s. We had to write about consumerism. We had to write about the jazz age. We had to write about, you know, the Harlem Renaissance. You know, so we had to write about these different categories. And it was pressure. It was pressure. So to be able to get prompts, and, you know, write to the prompts, it take you outside your comfort zone. So this was the overall, you know, sentiment behind us, you know, picking these different prompts, you know, and getting people outside of their comfort zone. So yeah, this was our intent, man. That was the whole purpose. Yeah.
I see, absolutely.
So
you guys did it.
So I want to get you, you know what I'm saying, back on this stage, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the conversation is so good, man. Well, I could definitely do an 8-hour interview with you. But let's get back on the ball, man. The people want to hear you spit. So let's set the stage back up. Coming back to the stage, let's give a warm welcome for our brother performing his second piece, Brother Habeeb.
Have you seen the hanging tree? A tree where life or death literally hang in the balance. You see, niggas don't grow on these trees. They just hang from them. As if they're hanging out to dry, but they're hanging out to die. And you bet not get caught hanging round here, nigga, or you'll get caught hanging round here, nigga. Because the lynch mobs are thirsty and they're dying to get drunk, intoxicated off the toxic hatred of a life that's so sacred. And when they wake, they won't feel any hangover. Just you at your wake, hung over, decorated in necklaces / nooses. And the only gift you were ever given was enough rope to hang yourself. They'll leave you half dead, hanging on for dear life. Like a hunter in a tree, hanging on for dear life. Hanging on by a thread. Dead body surfing on an ocean of wind. Riding on that wood. Yeah, they're hanging 10. Shackled and handcuffed. Yeah, you hang tough. And don't you dare cry. Give your kids something to look up to as they look up to. Show them the ropes. Teach them how to make that expression on their face while your wife gets raped as your life escapes. Teach them how to make that expression on their face while your wife gets raped as your life escapes. Teach them how to make that expression on their face. Yeah, son, show them the ropes. Just tell him your father was hung from the highest branch. Tell him I was well hung, much to his chagrin. Pitch porch digging into his pitch black skin. His estranged truth gave proof to red phlegm and blood dripping from this strange fruit. So hang in there, friend. The death angel is calling, and don't you dare hang up on him. Just show him the ropes. Just hang up your dreams of freedom. Only death can free him. Keep calling on God and never give up hope, even if you're at the end of your rope. Peace.
Oh my God, man. Do you guys see why this piece right here is so epic, man? You know, I was trying to put my finger on it, but I know what it is. You have mastered the art of the entendre, man. Like, your entendres just be crazy, man. And I'm sitting here, man. I'm like, whoa, man. The way you just intertwine these different concepts, and you say a phrase like 3-4 times, saying it in different ways, and in each way is bringing a different meaning, and it's coloring the context, man. And it's just masterful, man. But this piece right here really stood out to me. And now the world can see, my audience can see, why this piece right here, it just stands out, because it's a timeless piece. Now tell us, brother, what was the motivation behind putting pen to paper for this? Like I know this piece right here was like, it's dwelling in you, but what was the thing that made it, surface to the paper, man?
Yeah, the motivation was, there's a song with Nia Simone. And she talks about the southern trees bear a strange fruit. Whew, that's tough, bro. And then you look at that concept of the hanging tree. And I imagine myself in a position, like, what would I have done if that was me? And you can't do anything. You can't do anything. Like, I don't know, bro. It just overwhelmed me. Honestly, I cried when I wrote this, bro. When I was writing this piece, man, I broke down into tears, bro, just thinking about, especially when it says, show them, like, your son is looking up. Imagine your son. I was imagining my son looking up at me. And it says, show them that expression teach them how to make that expression on your face while your wife gets raped as your life escapes. So you're sitting there hanging, looking at your son. You see people raping your wife. Bro, I just broke down. Yeah, and, man. It is a painful reality.
It's just prolific, man. It's prolific that you would take that, because that was the whole sentiment behind that song, Strange Fruit. It started off as a poem. That song was a poem. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was written by Abel Meeropol. And Meeropol, he was a Jewish poet. But he wrote that poem in, like, he went through the South, and he saw with his own eyes, the lynchings, and he wrote that poem, and the poem is very graphic. It's very graphic. That poem, when Billie Holiday did it, because I believe she did it first. Yeah, Billie Holiday did it first.
Yes, she did.
But they blackballed her for that. She went to jail for doing that song, because they told her not to perform it. And everywhere they told her not to perform it, she still performed it. She still performed it.
Hell yeah.
So because she had a heroin addiction, so they really wasted like government resources to put taps on her phone, like to follow her, like put tabs on her, you know, to try to, you know, get her caught up to put her in jail for performing this song. It was that impactful. And when you really look at the poem itself, southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves, blood at the roots. You know, the scenery that he's describing, you know, see them, the twisted mouths, the protruding eyes and the twisted mouths. You know, this was the remnants of the bodies hanging on the trees in that southern heat. You know, and it's a smell, it's a scent that exude. There's, you know what I mean, just the whole idea of that atrocity put into poetry form, it became legendary. Kanye, Nina Simone, Billie Holiday, Brother Habeeb, the Grand Griot, even Poetic Black myself. I did a rendition of that poem. 2 renditions, in fact. One of them I heard one of them. Yeah, you heard one amazing. Of them. Oh my God, I did. Shit. Yeah, I didn't even release the second one yet. I'm still working on the final touches of it. But it's something, that sentiment needs to be put out there so people can see it. So people can see this is exactly how people thought. Like this was the mindset of people in this country. They used to use us as gator bait, like putting black babies to catch alligators. You know, this was a real thing. They have American memorabilia in some of these stores, these novelty stores that you can go to, where you can see the products. You know, and this was crazy. And that poem is just so impactful. It's so impactful, man. That's why I remember the name. I remember all the elements in that poem because it was so real and so impactful, and it accurately, you know what I'm saying, displayed the sentiment of how we feel on our side. You know, asking those questions, man, like appealing to the morale of people to say that, how can you say that this is something that's good? You gotta be something evil to believe that this was right. Where you got people, you know, they got pictures and photographs and postcards of black bodies being burnt up, hanging on a tree, their genitals being cut off, you know, holding them in jars and saving them as memorabilia. You know, I mean, it's just sick. It's sick. So we've been through so much in this country, and when I hear poetry that reflects back and make people remember, understand, you know, what we've been through, what we're going through, you know, so it can bring awareness to it, man. Great job on that piece, my brother. Thank you, man. For real. Appreciate you, bro. Definitely, man. Now, one of the pieces, right? One of the pieces, I said the most impactful piece, but the week, my favorite week, my favorite week when you just left Earth, man, is when you did the characterization of Nat Turner, man.
Oh my God.
Like that right there was when I knew, I like, this dude was different. I like, this dude is different. When we did the Nat Turner week, man, you chose Nat Turner for the audience that don't know. 1 week was you had to pick a revolutionary, you know, a revolutionary that you know, that died or whatever the case may be, and you had to write as though they were here today. As though they were here, like they was resurrected or whatever the case may be, but they were here today in 2023. You know, this is where they was at, and they seeing all of the stuff that's going on today with their old mindset. And you did Nat Turner, and it was an epic performance. An epic. And I urge you guys to go back and you can listen. Now, what I'm going to do, because the Grand Griot is coming up again, let me make that quick announcement. The Grand Griot is coming up again. We're going to get started around the same time. January next year, we should be ready, set to go. And but this year, at the end of this year, we're going to start taking auditions, you know, for the second annual Grand Griot. And if you guys want to audition, you know, get that app, get that Clubhouse app, and come on to Clubhouse and put your bid in. You know, we're going to change a couple of things to try to, you know, circumvent or prevent some of the things, some of the pitfalls that we fell into last year. But we're gonna try to fix those things, and it's gonna be a better experience, man. This experience was epic, but we're trying to improve on that experience. So what I'm gonna do in the near future, maybe in a few months or so, maybe 2-3 months, when we get closer to that time, I'm gonna play the final 12. The final 12 weeks, I'm gonna release those episodes. There's some bonus footage, some bonus content. I'm gonna release those as podcasts because I still have the recordings of all those. So I'm gonna release those so you guys can follow the competition up into the point of week 1 to 12, the final 12. You know, not the audition stage or the first 2 preliminary weeks, but just the final 12. We're gonna replay those so you guys can get acclimated how the competition went and how it works. So remember, that's coming up soon. So you want to audition for that. And the individuals who auditioned last year and you made it to the final 12, you are not eligible to compete again. Not this year. Next year, the following year, you can compete again, because we want to give other people chances to try to get that crown. But with that being said, man, my brother, man, you know, this interview, man, like I can really go on another 3 hours, man, but I know we have a limited amount of time, man. We got a limited amount of time. So I want to get you back on the stage, man, to do your final piece before we get into all the pleasantries, the wrapping up and all that, because I got one more question I got to ask you, and we'll get into that after you perform your final piece. So give us a little more time with it. So coming back to the stage, let's give a warm welcome for the Grand Griot himself, Brother Habeeb.
Brothers and sisters, I've been looking for the positive. I've been looking for the positive, but it's hard to find the positive in these days when blacks are 40% of the people positive with AIDS. I've been watching cable TV, BET, Netflix, World Star, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, anything that came across my face to look, and I still can't seem to get this shit straight. You niggas believe you're liberated, living free, with your rent-a-center sofa and TV, while being dependent on Section 8 and food stamps for your cost of living fee. I mean, it's amazing how your ancestors, we were masters of agriculture. We can make any crop grow and bloom, then reap what we sowed all night during the harvest moon. But now, you've allowed these culture vultures to substitute horticulture for WIC vouchers. And the only land that you own is the landline on your phone, nigga. Y'all niggas trying to tell me y'all staged sit-ins and sat in their restaurants and establishments, protested, got arrested to eat their no seasoning having ass sandwiches they 100% spit on, instead of opening your own restaurant selling the soul food you were raised on. You were fighting for the right to eat their bland-ass potato salad with raisins. Are you out of your damn mind? Because somehow, in your mind, you believe this Pyrrhic victory is such a great achievement in our history, which now has me become the bane of my existence, which now I can see. Victory has defeated you, black man. You literally fought the white man to make him rich, paid him your hard-earned money so he could continue to treat you like shit, and he so graciously granted you the right to do so. And instead of channeling the black dollar to create global empires, you dumb dopes were duplicitly duped into doing their drudgery, all under the guise of, I think the white man finally loves me. This Stockholm syndrome is embedded in our bones, genome, and chromosomes. And instead of finding the power to fight the power that pushed the whites in power, we created empowers empowered through pushing white powder. Now the success of our people is no longer indivisible. They made us think in sync that success is based on an individual. So now the success of his people is no longer in his visual. And the goals for us to meet and reap the success of Black Wall Street have now become invisible. And with all the evidence here, it's become evidently clear that it's hard to free slaves from chains they revere. In fact, you niggas have turned those chains into gold chains. Your goals have changed. Now you lusting for diamond-encrusted locks on your brain. These fools have deluded you. Used Uncle Tom foolery to fool you, made you lose sight of your color while calling you color just to confuse you, then made red and blue the new hue used to divide you, went from sending merchant ships to buy you to Crips versus Pyru. This is how they purposely deprive you, gang, nigga. And what's insane, nigga, is the same gangs by themselves got more guns than the cops do. But since they divide themselves like the mitosis of dividing cells, they only see themselves alone, by themselves. That's how black people can sex traffic their own people. Now niggas all on their own, alone, by yourselves, will literally sell and buy yourselves. This is the new Jim Crow. And I should know, nigga, because I really knew niggas who knew Jim Crow. Buckeye, tap dancer, and rap video minstrel. So this is why, after all these years, they still treating us like we 3/5 of a people. But when that 3/5 is in a hand, and my 3/5 of this man is holding the 4/5 in my hand, they definitely know that I'm more than equal. And instead of letting the gun bang, you would rather sit at home and complain, oh, I'm so tired and overworked. I'm so tired and overworked. Can you imagine dying overworked? I'm not talking about your fucking trap houses being shot up, niggas dying over work. I'm talking about high noon in the hot southern sun, niggas dying overworked. Not even animals can be conditioned to work these conditions that are the worst of conditions. And at the age of 12 and 13, as soon as they start bleeding, little black girls were forced to begin breathing, scared, chest heaving. Little girls who ain't even got no chest to begin with were forced to begin breastfeeding. God, why is justice nigh? When your sole purpose of living is not living for yourself, but the purpose of your living is to make a living for someone else. I got me scheming on my freedom. But every part of your body is just telling you no. And your slave masters keep telling you you're a good for nothing nigga who ain't worth shit. And that's just so you know. And the only Justin you know is to run barefoot, plowing through the snow with your wife and her precious cargo, trying to get to the land of Justin Trudeau. And it seems easy enough, but it's just not true, though. Slavery could break down the most gangster nigga you know. You know that nigga who says fuck 12 when he sees the police come while he holding his gun and he still don't even run. Put him back where I was from. When you heard fuck 12, that mean mass was coming to fuck your 12-year-old daughter or son. Plantation pedophilia, where little children were in high demand, and you can't possibly understand a man's feeling of feeling damn because he can't stop massa from thrusting his manhood inside of my little man. And your only choices are get beaten savagely to death by his own hands or submit and follow his command. When he tells you it's your turn to let your son learn how you gonna take it like a man. Now you out of your damn mind. That's when we grabbing weapons, knives, machete, whatever the fuck we can find. Ground poison in their food, make sure it's really fine. Arsenic in its favorite dip, contaminate their minds. I'm killing everything I find for my happily ever after. So if I say, get me the little pump and a little Uzi, don't confuse these for mumble rappers. These are the same hunger as Killmonger. So fuck T'Challa, King, and Martin Luther's dream. I want murder by any means, even if death is a necessity needed for me, so that one day my people can truly be free. Peace.
Oh my God, man. One more bomb for that, man. Oh my God, man. Yo, now let me preface this piece, because this is the piece I was talking about. This was the characterization. Understand this piece in context. He was doing the characterization of Nat Turner. Now, trying to gather, conjure the sentiment of Nat Turner in this piece, you know, first of all, let me just say you did a magnificent job conjuring that sentiment, you know, because you wasn't the only one to do Nat Turner that night. Another poet, Spit Raw, he also did Nat Turner that night.
Yep.
And his characterization of Nat Turner, because he does impressions, so his impression of what we think Nat would sound like was, you know, that was dope. But what I noticed that night is that you really brought the sentiment of what Nat stood for, the frustration of the anguish that was just pent up and regressed. And you bled it all out on the page, man. This was just so phenomenal, man. There's so many different lines, man. The line that always give me goosebumps is the dying over work. I'm not talking about in your fucking trap houses dying over work. I'm talking about in the hot sun, dying overworked. Powerful, man. Powerful. The entendre king, man. Like the way you flip entendres, man, is like something I've never seen before. But this piece right here was epic, man. I'm so happy you chose to do that, you know, for your final piece, man, because it gives credence to what I was saying, man. You know, like this brother, man, he deserved to be the Grand Griot, man. And I can't wait, man. We set the date. You know, like you had so many things going on. We had things going on because we didn't just want to meld the belt to you. You know what I'm saying? Right. That this was 14 weeks. This was 14 weeks of you sacrificing, you know, your time with your family, you know, time from your work, you know, from even your leisure time to sacrifice this time to participate in this competition. So we wanted to hand you this belt, you know, face to face.
My man, I can't wait.
Hand to hand, and I got it. I got the belt, man. I got the belt.
I seen that thing,
man. Shiny.
Oof.
Shiny, man. And it's heavy.
Beautiful.
It's heavy. It's heavy to symbolize the depths of your words, my brother.
Yeah,
and I can't wait. It's gonna be an honor. We set the date on the 26th. We set the date. Yep. Well, we're gonna finally, man, me and Payne will be able to hand you this belt, man. And it's so well deserved, so well earned. You know, you did a phenomenal job, not just in the poetry realm, but your character, which is gonna lead to the final question that I have for you. You know, you, my brother, man, you're a man of righteousness, man. You're a man of God, you know. And since I've known you, you've never compromised that. You've never compromised that. No matter what's the venue, what's the topic, or whatever the case may be, a person, even in this interview, a person can gather that this is a man of God. And you know, you hear people, you know, they say that they're religious, but religious and righteous is two different things, and sometimes they get conflated with one another, you know. But you know, righteousness don't look like religiosity. Righteousness don't look like, you know, you go to church, is a fashion show. You go to the mosque, you know, you got the brother with the big thobe on, big beard, the big chew stick in his mouth, and when you interact or you engage with him, he doesn't remind you anything of God. You know, and one thing that I've noticed since I've met you, man, that you've always made God prevalent in your life. So I wanted to ask you about your spirituality, man, because me and you both, we both follow the same faith. And we both have the same views about the faith, the same gripes or critiques about, how people choose to practice the faith. So tell us a little bit about, what you believe and, what you represent in the terms of, being a man of righteousness, being a man of God. How do that play in your poetry? Because you never separate the two, and it's very admirable.
Man. Yeah, this is, I think this is the reality in my brain. Like you say, I made God prevalent, but God has made, I see how God has been so prevalent in my life. And I try to always remember that, in the Quran, God says that he's only created man and jinn to serve and worship him. So, growing up, knowing that, as a kid, I read that. But the more and more I begin to understand that, I came to the conclusion that my whole existence is in service to and in worship of God. So I can't do anything for me per se. Even if I come up and do a poem or something like that, it has to be worship, service for God, everything. And if I put myself in front of God, then I'm making me like who I'm serving, opposed to God. So it's definitely it's been a journey to come to that place, and it just, I'm afraid because I've been through so much. What God showed me what arrogance would do to you. He showed me how you think you strong. I'm 6 foot, 6'6". And there's been times where I couldn't even get up out of bed because I had a pneumonia, and I was like a baby, bro. I had to crawl to go to the bathroom. There's been experiences that I've had where God let me know that without him, I'm nothing. And I don't ever want to experience a moment without God's mercy or his grace or his strength or whatever it is that people will see and say, wow, that's awesome. I will always try to give it back to God because it's only through him that it's possible. So I gotta constantly give it back to God, because if I don't give it to him, bro, and I start taking ownership, he'll take it away and show me how weak I am, how nothing I am. So I just try to be a servant to the Most High, so that hopefully one day I could be with the Most High. God willing.
That's so profound, my brother. It's so profound. And you hear that terminology, walk it like you talk it, and then you see the examples that you give, man. That's exactly what your intention is. Your intention is to walk upright, to walk, being a light or beacon of light for others, being, that pillar that can say, yo, look, this is an example of how it's done, where a person is trying, a person is struggling, and it all comes through, my brother. I'm a pretty good judge of character. And I don't keep too many people in my circle. Since I've been young. I've always been able to, fill a person out and see what type of vibe or energy they're on. It's discernment. We all have to have discernment. Yeah. And what I discern from you, my brother, man, time has proven it, that you're deliberate and you're definitely serious and truthful, in your aim, to walk in that path of being upright and in service to God, and I commend you, my brother. It's you can see it, in everything that you do, that it's affecting your life, man, and people can recognize, and it's good sometimes for people to tell you that they can see it. It's that confirmation coming from the Most High that you're on the right path. Sometimes we need reassurance. Sometimes we need, yes, brother. You know, sometimes we need it, man. We need to for it to be recognized, to let us know that, yes, what I'm doing is affecting change in other people, and it's changing me. So it's a beautiful sentiment, my brother. I thought it had to be, yeah, praise the Most High, man, because it had to be mentioned, man. And continue being that light, continue being, you know, that beacon of hope. You ain't gonna have me on this show crying, nigga. You ain't gonna have me crying. Nah, brother. It's all love, man. And you know, I just want you to know that, man, those flowers coming from me, man, that you're on the right path, my brother, man. I look forward, man, to working with you in the future, man. We got some things and some endeavors that we're gonna collaborate on, and I can't wait to see what the future, you know, has in store for the Grand Griot, man. And it's an honor. It's an honor to have you to be our first Grand Griot.
Man,
you know,
praise God. I'm so excited and so blessed and
most
thankful.
definite.
And the biggest prize, bro, I'm gonna be 100%, bro. The biggest prize is meeting you and becoming your friend, bro. I swear to God, I swear to the Most High, that is the fucking biggest prize. Is meeting you, bro.
Wow, Facts. Man. I'm humbled, my brother. I'm really humbled, man. And the sentiment is mutual, brother. It's mutual, man. I can't wait, man, to hand you this belt. You know, and you know, it's gonna be a beautiful moment. We're gonna definitely record it, man. We go out, hang out, man, and yeah, man, it's gonna be dope, man. Definitely. And I definitely want to thank you, man, for coming to the show. But before
you for having me.
Most definite. Before we get up out of here, though, I want you to tell the people like what you got going on, what you know what I'm saying, what you're working on, how they can get in contact with you, man, especially your album, man, because that album, man, is a piece of art. I'm gonna post the link in the description of this episode so you guys can check that description and check out that track Occupy, man, that I played in the beginning, and check out his whole album. The whole album is available, and go check that out, man. Support this brother. But go ahead, brother Habeeb.
Yeah, man, what I'm working on now, the next thing I'm trying to do, and I want this brother's help right here with it. I want to do a on Clubhouse and maybe YouTube, but I want to do a show called Red Pill Love Poems, and I want to just really get into the reality of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to just kind of remove the Hallmark Band-Aid in this fucking Disney Channel you know, phenomena about love, and talk about really love. What's the red pill concepts? So it's not just about, you know, when I say love, I'm talking about love for not just women, brotherhood, love in this society, this world, what we love, who we should ultimately be loving, like the real deal stuff. So that's what I want to get into soon, very soon. And I once I'm ready to push that button on that, I'm gonna let you know, and you can let your people know, and we can go from there.
Most definite, man. I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for it. A real class act, this brother Habeeb, our Grand Griot, man. And man, thank you, man, for coming.
Thank you.
Facts, brother, for coming to the show, man, and showing out, man, and showing out. You just didn't come. You came and you showed out, man. But this is the point in time. This is the point in time where I need my audience. I need you to listen to the sound of my voice. If you can hear the sound of my voice, I need you to tune in. I have something very, 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 very important to tell you. Tune in to the sound of my voice. I hope you remain on your path today. I hope you have the resilience and diligence to get the job done. No matter what obstacles befall you, just know strength and endurance can push it through. It's time for us to become active. If you don't know anything about me, I want you to know this. I want you to know that I love you. And I really hope you love me too. Peace.